Welcome back to another 7 Deadly Sins origin video. Today it's real simple. We're doing a P7 Merlin showcase. I'm mainly just going to be showing you how good she is at P7. Not going to be explaining a ton. I'm just going to be really showing you raw gameplay. I mean, I'll be talking over it. She gets some really good benefits from her dupes. I do not feel like she's a character that needs them, but she does get some really good benefits. And I kind of wanted to show those off just in case you're like at P5, P6. I would love for you to comment below and let me know how many dupes you got into your Merlin. But I just think in general, she's probably the best character in the game. She's really good, and she counters almost every fight in the game. If you enjoy the showcase, if you enjoy the content, I'm getting really close to 1,000, so hit that subscribe button for me, hit the like, and like I said, comment below, let me know exactly what potential your Merlin's on, and I'll keep these descriptions real brief for you, and we'll just get straight into the gameplay. So yeah, I'm going to do a super short description here, and then we're just going to get straight into the gameplay, because the main thing is the potential. So we'll start just top down, so we'll go ice, electric, fire. The main thing with the ice is obviously you're just trying to build up your frost marks, you're trying to tag in, and you're trying to do a ton of tag damage. I'm going to be in the new raid, and you're going to see her doing just the definition of so much damage. It's crazy. I do have, just quickly to show your armor, I did get really lucky here. I did get it at level 2. Did get it 130. And then I was testing the full crit damage, crit set. I was testing this out on her, and not sure how I feel versus some other stuff, but, you know, we're still in the testing phase. That's so new. But what you're getting here for her potential, so I'm going to talk super briefly because you probably already know what she does. But the main thing we're trying to do is build these frost marks. We're trying to tag in and do a ton of damage. There's obviously, you know, some different ways you can play her. Her ult also allows you to do more crit damage. But I'm here to really show you about the potential. So at P5, you get increased cold damage by 30%. Pretty good. And then also, when you hit your special on an enemy with a frost mark, restores tag age by 15. So obviously, you're trying to tag in a lot. So, you know, that's a little bit useful here. This is the special attack again, and it's going to increase the power by 50, which is solid. And then additional tag skill damage by 15%. And then at P7 is where it gets pretty good. Use the special attack, increases the hero's crit chance by 20% for 12 seconds. We always love that. Landing it on an enemy with a frost mark, which you're going to have almost all the time, increases crit damage by 15% for every 1 stack. As I just showed you, you can stack this 4 times. So that's pretty powerful. 60% crit damage when you have it all stacked up like that. Now, obviously, you're going to be using it a lot and going in and out, but it's definitely something to note here. So let's get right into the gameplay. So we'll show you a little bit of the queen and king, and then we'll go obviously to the main boss. But what makes this really good is obviously she has a combo ult with Daisy, which is very powerful. But when you're fighting multiple enemies like this, and there's a million things happening on the screen, you can obviously catch them both at the same time, which makes her very powerful. What you're going to see here is you see me hitting with Daisy, and that is to help build up the tag gauge. When you switch to a character, you want to make sure that you attack 3 times with them, and you will see, and you'll start seeing some of this switch damage I'm doing here. And this is where it starts to get just like insane. Right there, 376,000 on one, 264,000 on the other. Merlin switches in and does 200-something thousand. That's where you'll start doing just a ton of damage. And yeah, she's really good for this raid. And this is what I was getting all the footage ready. I was getting ready to make a full team building guide because I talked about doing that. And so I've kind of done this solo. I've done this in trios. I've done this with 5 people. But you can just see here, I mean, just look at the damage she's producing. It's so much on the screen. She's, like I said, when you're fighting multiple people, she's really, again, you can't even see half these numbers, but man, she's just really able to cook both people. That was 437,000 on one and like 400-something thousand on the other. It's just a ton of damage. I mean, it's just, it's just insane. I don't know, like, I've seen some people do it with Meliodas. There's 500,000 almost. That was 494,000. I've seen some people do this with Meliodas. I know if you have him super high dupe, but man, if you don't, Merlin is just, it's goated. And like I said, you do want to pay attention when you're switching to these characters. Make sure that you are hitting a few times with them to keep building up these stacks and making it to where when you're changing, you're doing the kind of damage we're doing. I mean, this is, and for the record, just so you know, this boss stacks with you. So you think, oh, I've got a partner, this makes it easier. No, it doesn't. So in this, that's why the team building guide is so important, is because it stacks with you. And it actually, I think when I was in 5s, I think it's even harder. Let me get to the main boss now. And yeah, she's insane. The ice gameplay here is going to be a little bit longer than the other 2 just because it's so relevant right now because of this raid. But if you have Manny or Daisy, you can combo it with them. You can get so much mana in this game now, especially if you have like the Hymn of Regeneration, right? Like you're not really struggling for mana. You're seeing me combo ult. You're seeing me hit everyone else's ult too. Like I'll be hitting Clotho's ult a lot because that'll help you do more damage. I'm just standby hitting Merlin's ult. And you can see we're starting to do some serious damage. And again, she really does start cooking especially when you're tagging and switching and making sure you're hitting 110,000 on that switch. So obviously the numbers are a lot lower in here because he's a very difficult boss. And my teammate was, this is actually a friend of mine, but he was lower level than me by a significant amount. So we were, I'm going to say I was carrying him for this victory for him, but I'm not saying he's a slouch. He has good units. They're just not super high duped. And I obviously have the P7. I have a P7 Merlin, which just makes a huge difference. And like I said, it's very interesting to use a character like this because you're kind of switching so often. It's not a game style that I'm used to, and I'm sure you're not used to it, and we're still experiencing it. But you switch to your other characters, you do their basic attacks, which is really interesting. You see, like right there, we just got a frozen mark because I hit the basic attacks, and now when Merlin comes back in, she does more damage. It's a fun mechanic, and this ability is also building your tag gauges, so you can just switch a lot. And yeah, you're just going kind of crazy with her. And you can see we're just already doing serious damage. When you tag in, you start doing tons of damage. And this, like I said, this boss, if you fought it, he is not a slouch. So when you see yourself tagging in for, 200,000 like that, and you can see how much damage we're already doing. And like I said, with my friend basically having a P4 Merlin, and I'm basically carrying most of this damage. I mean, look at that. Like, it's wild work out here. I don't want to keep this too long because, like I said, I'm showing 3 separate weapons in this. But yeah, again, I know if you have like a super high dupe Meliodas, you can probably cook in here. But she just absolutely goes to work in here. Now, hopefully you made it to the electric gameplay as I'm splitting this up into sections. This, to me, I actually think this might be her best build, especially if you're fighting a group of enemies. But essentially what you're doing is AoE damage for days. And this ability here on P7, let me tell you, all you're doing is spamming it. I mean, I'm talking about literally cooling down instantly. You'll see it in the gameplay. I set my personal best on the time junction by a mile. But you are wanting to also ult with her because when you ult, you overload and increase lightning damage by 50%. It's just, I mean, it's a lot of fun here, but let me show you what the potential does. I don't think it does cold damage when we're on lightning. Decreases the hero's normal skill cooldown by 4 seconds. Slightly increases the range. Ending a normal skill on an enemy with lightning burst. Activate decreases the hero's dash stamina cost by 50% for 5 seconds. That's cool, but we're talking about all this cooldown here. While overload, so after you ult, critical chance is increased by 30%, which is really solid, and normal skill cooldown decreases by 2 seconds every 1 second. Okay? Special attack electromagnetic field allows you to use the normal skill divine judgment for 7 seconds. Landing the special attack decreases enemies lightning resistance by 30% for 20 seconds and stuns the target. So again, this is all stacking up, looking really nice. Let's get into the gameplay of this. This is time space junction, and really all you need to know about Merlin is she basically counters all these. She has type advantage on all 4 that are out now in some fashion, and then she's going to have it on 5 and 6 as well. But this is real simple. I have her with Daisy. If you have her and Daisy together, they can combo ult, and GG's once you do this. So if you've struggled in this sector at all, you do that, and you stop getting hit. But then once you get this down, you just start going crazy. You can see my ability. I'm just spamming it. If you look at the bottom right, it's just instantly recooling. Switches over to the other one, which instantly recools, and then you just keep spamming it. So I've almost already killed him here right off the bat, and that's just how much damage you can do with her. It's crazy. I'm going to make sure that obviously I focus to get the... and you can actually kill this girl. It's really annoying, but if you let her live, obviously she'll like full heal or whatever. But yeah, so I'm going to chase her down, make sure she's dead. I actually did it with Manny there, but it doesn't matter. You can do it with Manny too. So if you want to combo it with Manny, either way, it's over. I mean, you're just doing so much AoE that they just really don't stand a chance. When you're clearing in 53 seconds, you got to show some different gameplay. So obviously I've got another one here, and we'll just kind of talk about her. So Merlin, even at P4, I will tell you this, I was absolutely still cooking this. She's just really good on her lightning build. I think it could be her best build. We'll have to see in the future, but I even technically do this run wrong where I don't kill, what's her name? Freza, whatever her name is. You're supposed to, make sure that she's not one of the last enemies alive or whatever. It doesn't matter. Merlin doesn't care. She just doesn't matter. Like, you can just see me spamming these abilities. I mean, it's just literally instant reset, instant reset, instant reset. I mean, you just see it right here. It's super fun, and again, you do want to ult with her because you obviously want to get the extra damage. She does, what, 50% more when you ult when she overloads. But you can see here, I've taken this into a 1v1 with, the person that you're not really supposed to. Merlin doesn't care, man. Like, she's insane. And I love the value that you get at free-to-play or, P4, and I love the value you get with potential. She's just really good across the board, and she's just a must-summon. But you can see here, we'll take this 1v1, and it doesn't matter. I just wanted to put this in here to prove that it's not just AoE damage she's doing. It is literally just damage in general. Because we're now in a 1v1, and we've won the 1v1 because Merlin is literally insane. Lightning build is one of my favorite builds in the game. I think it's just so good. So this is the last and probably least interesting to most people, but I'm hoping you made it here because in my opinion, the fire team did not need another burst, but my god, is she insanely good at it, especially at P7. This might be the best potential for her as far as like what you're getting out of the value here, but essentially she's just bursting. I mean, you're hitting this clone, this is going to taunt them, and as long as they stay by it, you're resisting their burst. You're making their fire burst less. These balls will just chase them down. It's really cool. You can throw 2 of them out, and it's just cooking them. And then your ult is free whenever you burst. The potential is where it gets very interesting for a burst character. The ultimate move, which again is free when you burst, does 250% more damage. Using a combined ult will increase allies' max HP by 20% for 20 seconds. It's really good for Escanor, and that's just P5. P6 increases the hero's fire burst efficiency by 30%. We love that on a burster. Each hit of the normal attack additionally increases the burst gauge by 0.25 up to 50, so we're just adding to it. P7 is where it gets really good. Each hit of a normal skill additionally increases the burst by 10, with the final strike inflicting damage, attack, and increasing the burst gauge by 1% of max up to 200. So it's just stacking up more burst. Let's get into the gameplay. So very interesting choice for her to be a fire burst character when we didn't really need one, but man, is she insanely good at it. So she has a taunt there. You can throw these balls that will just AoE hit them, and you can just see I'm ulting just before because you can actually do some decent damage with her. So now that she's bursted, I'm going to ult again, and you can see that's actually decent damage for a burst character, you know, doing it that quickly. That's because of her potential. One of them allows the ultimate move to do 250% more damage. I think that's P5, so she can actually help out a little bit on the damage there, and just in general, she just bursts so fast. Again, we had Gila, we had Tristan, but it's very interesting to see just how quick she can burst here. And we've already almost got Galen killed, but you'll see. The taunt is also super effective because that allows you to get free damage in. It doesn't last for a ton of time. I love that the balls will chase, and you can see here, again, just so quick on these bursts, man. It's just like, he just doesn't stand a chance. And if he didn't jump here, you know, he was just insta-dead, but she's insane. The first stage of time-space junction is still obviously weak to fire, so she just makes this so easy. And again, you can see how quickly she bursts, even when he jumps out of the area of the taunt, which the taunt, you do want them to stand by to make it even quicker, but I mean, you can just see how quick that is. And what I love is the fact that you saw me change to Escanor before, because she's going to auto burst because those balls are going to hit. You can change characters before they're even burst, and really before they're even that close to being bursted, because of how effective she is at just bursting. I mean, it's like I said, it's crazy. You can see the taunt. Again, taunt is super valuable because when he starts swinging at the taunt, you're just sitting there doing, you know, free burst basically. Or if you have it out when a character's out that's doing a ton of damage, you're obviously not getting hit. So won't be breaking up your damage, won't be messing up your flow. And again, it's nothing special as far as, you know, what the gameplay is. It's just bursting, but it's very valuable, and she's actually really good at it. And I was just surprised that a character that really the role we didn't need, you know, for burst for the fire, like I said, is just, she does a really solid job at it. She's also very good with Meliodas, and that's why I wanted to show you this, because Meliodas can really quickly, rapidly, you know, reset burst gauge because he burns it so quickly with the darkness there. So we bring Merlin back in here, and she just starts cooking again. So they're going to be a really, really good duo in anything that is fire and darkness. And again, Meliodas just transcends the game. You can see the free ult here. Meliodas, it doesn't matter if he has the weakness or not. So Merlin is going to be very effective for him in anything that can be fire burst quickly. And yeah, I mean, you can just see we're just tearing this guy apart. And like I said, Meliodas and her together, I think that's going to be a really good combo. We'll see moving forward. But yeah, she bursts insanely good. She's really good. She's just great.